Welcome to the Orlando Lions Den podcast, your number one Orlando City podcast. For the fans, by the fans. For the fans, by the fans. Keeping you in the know on all things Orlando City since 2018.
So this isn't episode 33. This is actually episode 34. But playoff mode is still activated. Welcome to another edition of the Orlando Lions Den. You got Mike here hosting tonight, and I got Cleon and I got Eddie with me. First, I'm going to go to Eddie. My man, how you feeling, brother? How you doing tonight?
I'm feeling good. On that, I talked about the fact that we're going to take care of Charlotte in 2. I feel super confident in that prediction after the first match. That was a good, comfortable win, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Nice. Cleon, what about you, my man? I heard you had a mess you had to clean up there right as we got started today, but you doing good? You fighting through it?
Yeah, doing all good, man. Doing all good. Waiting for this game on Friday. Hopefully, you go up there, run through them real quick. You know, hopefully Atlanta could come through. My second favorite team, Atlanta. I'm a big, huge fan. Always been a huge fan.
Never said a bad thing about him once, you know?
Right. Yeah, never. Mm-hmm. Never said anything bad about those guys ever.
He behaved really well when he was there. Really felt that Southern hospitality. His car even matches their uniform because he's such a big fan.
No, it doesn't. It's cherry purple.
Cherry purple. Yeah, cherry purple.
Mm-hmm. Right.
All right, guys. We have the fake metaphorical bills we got to pay. So first, before we jump in and talk about the game and talk about everything this week, let's go ahead and talk about our sponsors. First, shout out to Hourglass Brewing. I'm going to go ahead and start with them. No Mango, No Party. They were awesome with us earlier this year. Did a whole watch party and everything. We had an absolute blast. So shout out to Hourglass Brewing for supporting the show and for giving us a fun time to connect with you guys, the listeners. And, we all had a great time with that. We sure hope that you did too. Then we'll go to our boy Chad McGibbon at Chad McGibbon. You can use the QR code on the screen if you're in to trying to buy a house right now. Chad McGibbon Realty, he's going to be the guy to help you out in the Central Florida area. And we know you guys, you want to get helped out by a fellow Orlando City supporter. This is the one to go ahead and do it with. And I'm going to keep moving along here to Leo with the Epic Mortgage Team. If you're going to be trying to buy a house through Chad, you're going to need someone to assist with the loan. Rates are on the way down. Contact Leo at Epic Mortgage, 407-844-7696. QR code on the screen. I can give you some more information there. Like I said, rates are on their way down. So if you're looking for a new mortgage or trying to refinance, Leo is going to be a great person to help you out. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pass it off to Eddie to talk about himself.
Yeah, so that's funny. Comparing insurance. Now, new thing, we got commercial insurance now. So if you have your like a business vehicle, food truck, anything like that, it's under your LLC. I can help with that as of this past Wednesday. And thank you for those who've reached out to me. Some have reached out to me recently. And one I was able to help, the other one I was able to say, you know what you got is good. Just keep that. And I'm always going to shoot you straight. And look, yeah, all the insurance is boring and complicated sometimes. It's good to have someone who knows what they're doing. And, I feel like I do. So I appreciate you guys. And then the end of the season, the Orlando season, hopefully it prolongs. I will do my Orlando City Foundation donation. And so the longer the season goes, the more chances that the donation could increase. But so far, it's been pretty good. So look forward to that. I'll post it on the socials once I do it so you guys can see the receipt.
We love to see it, man. That's always good. Because we love working with a place like the Orlando City Foundation as well. So
right. What it is, any quote, whatever the outcome, $20 or $25. I got to remember what I said. I think it's $20 per quote to the Orlando City Foundation. But either way, we'll make it work.
Darn right. We like that. So, I ain't gonna, sugarcoat it. I'm just gonna jump right into it. 2-0 win open the playoffs here against Charlotte. Guys, this one felt good. Eddie, you said you felt that it was going to be City in 2. As you guys know, they alluded to it on the Alex and Alex show last week. I was out sick last week, and I had gotten a message while I was in the hospital from my man Edgar from News Across the Galaxy. He's the LA Galaxy podcast we've collaborated with in the past, and he's like, "Are you guys nervous? Like, how are you feeling about it?" And I literally, while I'm in pain in the hospital, I'm just like, City in 2. That's all I said. He's like, "You're not worried?" I was like, "I'm feeling good." Like, and this game, guys, they came out from the jump. I felt that we dominated this game. We were in control. We were patient. We were strong on the ball. Facundo Torres opened the scoring with a great piece of individual play. I believe it was Malanda who tried to head the ball away, and he hit it up off of his thigh, then left foot full volley, bar down into the top of the net. That's a thing of beauty. And we ended up having a second goal added based on a great IQ play by Martin Ojeda. He knew he was offside. He said, "Angulo, you're fast as hell. Run and get that ball." Angulo laid it off, and Eddie got to see one of his favorite things in soccer, and that's beating the keeper near post. Martin Ojeda, great shot. And this is the kind of performance that you need against a team like Charlotte. For me, at least, Charlotte, they're a strong defensive team that is boosted by having a above average goalkeeper. Christian Cleon is probably going to win goalkeeper of the year this year. That's how good he's been for them. And he helps cover up some of the defensive, insecurities that they have. But we were still able to exploit him in this game. And I feel like this is just a performance that you got to be really confident in. They started to show a little bit of attacking promise for like about 15 minutes in the second half. And then once we got the second goal, I feel like they really didn't have anything to add after that. So Cleon, I'm going to go to you first. Thoughts on the game, thoughts on any, individual performances or anything that I had to say. Were you scared at all during this game?
I never felt in danger on the Orlando City side from the opening kick. Felt pretty in control. Even the first half, we had the one goal. It felt, we probably should have had about 2 or 3 easy, which that's been our MO. Like even when we're not hitting, as long as we keep and the attack is constant, you know what I mean, which has been a theme over this back half of the season, where our attack has been really constant and from the opening kick all the way through. Now at this point, we even keep attacking even after we make subs, and it's been a game changer for us, man. And this game was no different. It was, we were coming after them. We had a couple good saves. We had a couple bad misses, but the attack was always there, and that constant pressure was always there. So no, I felt very good, man. Like it would have really sucked to, lose that last game as we did against Atlanta. They get in, and then we get Charlotte. We end up with Charlotte or whatever. It's supposed to be on paper. The way it folded, and we end up with Charlotte. It's supposed to be a pretty good matchup for us. If looking against the other teams that were out there. Probably the best we could have asked for as far as the teams that got in. And so to blow that and waste that gift, if you want to call it, that would have really sucked. So no, I was extremely happy with this, man. I just hope we go up there, finish the job Friday, and don't even need for a game 3.
Exactly. I love it. Eddie, what about you, man? What do you think?
No, I agree with a lot of what Cleon said. The chance creation, especially, before it felt like with some of Poppy's teams where we had that one good chance and they're like, oh wow, we didn't finish it. What are we gonna do now? Where it don't feel like that's the case. That keeper really kept him in the game. It could have been 2-3 easily, and we had a couple moments, a couple crosses, and then in the second half they came out pretty spry. when Dean Smith let them go past the halfway line, like the defense, the line went up a little bit and it caused us a little bit of problems. And you know what? The good thing about this one is that it wasn't one goal was in transition, but the second one was, but not the first one. And you're gonna see teams, face you in the playoffs a little differently, sometimes set up a little differently, sometimes even more defensive. Dean Smith, he had him pretty low and kind of like a really strong mid block for a while there, and then we were able to break them down in the second on the first goal. A lot of it was overloading on the left hand side with Angulo, Ojeda coming over, and Santos. That seems to be our preferred kind of way of attack and creating chances a lot with, and Ojeda's just does really good job of just making that underlapping run with Angulo there. And then Santos, overlapping. It's a lot to handle. And imagine if Angulo was good on like around the box, right? If Angulo was good, we'd be even better there. But that was good. That was positive. Facu with wonderful goal. I love near post goals, like you said, Mike, but I also love a crossbar. I think a crossbar down goal might be my favorite. It didn't have the sound, usually I like a chunk, that's my favorite. But the volley off his like shoulder there and just to roll it down. I mean, he caught that so clean. And normally a left-footed player is gonna kind of swipe across it and go far post. And he went near post and he completely caught the goalie flat-footed. I mean, it was a spectacular goal. And from now, I've been thinking about it since then. I think this is his fourth goal off of volley this year. I mean, just what a player, what incredible technique, technical ability. I mean, that was a fantastic goal. It reminded me of that Kaká goal, I think against SKC. Just let it off his chest and scored it. This one was bins, off the bars. That was fantastic. Dagger Dan back is helping because he is holding that whiff. They put Reem on Facu to try to contain him. But when Dagger's holding that whiff out there, Facu could cut inside. And when we have Ojeda over there overloading with Santos and Angulo, Facu essentially takes in that number 10 space. And we don't use a 10 like we use it with Mauricio. We use a 10, almost like a 9.5, where they get in the box and create numbers in the box. Don't just leave Enrique. So I thought that was positive. Ojeda, I thought, was just lethal all day, created a bunch of chances, had some good production overall, good work rate. Angulo too. I mean, I think Oscar. I mean, he must have been, had the tingles when there was a counterattack, and I think Facu was left out to dry or something, and they were making a good run. Angulo came all the way from like the right side in our box, all the way across the pitch and stole it. I mean, Papi was like, anyone who thought I shouldn't start him he must have felt so vindicated. He must have felt, that was probably peak happiness for Oscar there, seeing his boy run all the way like that. And that reminded me of Cleon when he said that Angulo is a 95 or whatever, 98 rated player between the boxes. I was like, there he goes, bro. 98 speed, 98 defensive, 98 awareness, But and then Ojeda on the second goal, that was Caesar, bro. Too much weight on that pass. Ojeda wasn't even there. And thank God he was smart enough to know he was offside and let that go. That's something Dom Dwyer never seemed to understand. So, just let it go to someone else. And then to make a good run to come back in there, and Angulo just placed it right on him. So that was good. That was good. I just thought that was really positive. I like a smart team. We're flowing. We're playing, with some quickness in certain areas, and I'm liking it. And positives were the clean sheet. Positive, we scored a goal against a block there, and then now the way that with the format, Charlotte has to win, and they're at home, so no away goals, hoodoo or whatever. So they're gonna have to open up, and we are lethal on the counterattack on the road, especially. So I think it's gonna fall right into us. So I think I think this is Charlotte's cooked.
And not to mention, just something to add on to it, their DP number 10 chance creator, Pep Beal, got that very dumb, stupid, idiot red card at the end of the game.
Right.
You saw a lot of debate online. Andrew Wiebe, who does instant replay, unsure if it denoted being a red card. You obviously saw a lot of Charlotte fans being like, "Oh, it was soft. You really didn't even touch him." For me, it's the intent. Clearly, he intends to
Right.
kick
Intent
out at
matters.
Robin Janssen. Whether you make big
Yeah.
contact or not, if you're kicking out at another player, that's a red card every time.
Unless you're Virgil van Dijk. Kai
Yeah,
Havertz
well,
the other
well,
day.
that's
Or unless you play for Inter Miami.
Right. Oh yeah, or unless you're Sergio Busquets and he
Yeah,
just
he does it all
does a
the time.
Stone Cold Stunner on someone and it's, warning.
anyways. So I actually have a quick question for you guys before we move on to our next topic. And this is just something that Matt Doyle tweeted today. Friend of the show. I think he was on here once. Matt Doyle. He just
Lovely
tweeted a clip of the play, and it said, "This is my. It will be perceived as a hot, but actually isn't." Take is that Orlando City are actually a much better team this year than they were 12 months ago. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I think we're a more goal dangerous team this year, right? It's possible. It is possible. Obviously, we were second to Shield last year in 60 whatever points. But I think Santos has improved since last year. The emergence of Dagger, right?
Dagger's improved for sure.
Yeah, Dagger's improved. I mean, there's no doubt. He's not a midfielder playing fullback anymore. He's a fullback. And defensively, you like I said it all year, you got to get reps, man. I was never going to kill him for like a defensive thing. You got to get reps at a new position. I mean, he's just solid. Santos defensively has been better as of late, and then they finally are using Ojeda properly, not like a kind of a metronomic 10 like Mauricio, kind of like not 9.5. And then these overloads, these triangles on the left hand side are creating a ton. I mean, there was that great pullback Ojeda had to Facu. Facu got it. He made a good save. Facu was a little easy on the strike. Facu's a guy with little lift. He really hits a ton of power. I mean, he had a shot from outside the box that stung the keeper's hands. So on that one, he was just a little bit. He hit it like it was an open net. It wasn't, So, but that was a great job by Ojeda getting him a fantastic shot. Everybody wanted him to get it to Enrique, and he just let Enrique take two runners and just smartly pulled it back to Fagundo. We're seeing that those kind of chances happen, better chances. I feel like we're creating better chances. Where last year, I don't know if we created as many, and Duncan was just finishing out of his mind. Right, so I think this year we're more goal dangerous. So there, in that sense, we have more upside. And as long as we have, the road warriors, Cesar and Wilder out there in the middle of the park, then I'm always going to feel confident defensive wise. And Hot Rod hasn't, I thought he was. I honestly, Rodrigo, when they gave whatever his name is from Charlotte a red card, Rodrigo started walking to the sideline. I was like, oh no, playoff Rodrigo's back. But no, we got it. Am I the only one who thought that? Because I went with Daniel. I went with Daniel. Daniel was like, oh no, you were right. Or he was like, oh no, what did Rodrigo do? Because it was a melee. And
there's always something with Rodrigo in the playoffs, man.
Right,
whether it be good or bad, there's always something.
There's something, right? Exactly. But his problem is when he faces those Argentinians, he I don't know if it's a local rivalry thing, he loses his mind like Cucho. So we'll see what happens further down in the playoffs. But yes, I think I could see it. I don't know if I would say 100% because we finished so much higher last year. But I think we're more goal dangerous, and you need to score goals in these playoffs. And I think defensively, I feel like we were better last year. I mean, the numbers kind of show that. But I like the fact we could score more goals last year. Columbus, yeah, Ojeda almost made it, but we kind of got dominated for a good chunk of that. I think Columbus was a better team, and we just made a run really late. I feel like I guess before it was like one goal, and I could see us getting 2 or 3 every game for the most part.
Cleon, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'll actually go. It's not something I thought about before you just posed the question, but after thinking about it, I'll say I think we are. I don't think we had a better season overall, which is basically what Eddie's saying. Because I think we got going a little bit earlier last year, not too much early. It was still too late last year too, but we did go. We got going a little bit earlier last year, so our record shows that. And also a couple teams are a little better than they were last year too, but then a couple teams are a little worse. So I guess it all balances out. But I'll say our back end form this year, like coming into the playoffs and just from Leagues Cup on, basically, which is basically what it's becoming now. The back end is like after Leagues Cup. I would say our form from Leagues Cup to now is probably better than last year, or if it feels like it to me. I don't know if that's statistically true as far as wins, losses, all that types of stuff, but we seem like a much more dangerous team.
I think that I think I remembered someone posting it that our points per game down the stretch, going into the final week of the season, I think our points per game was on Shield pace. Like that's how much we were winning down the stretch. And someone said, why would this be perceived as a hot take? They've lost 3 games since June. And then Doyle's like, well, I mean, last year they were a 63-point team and finished second in the Shield race. But I agree with both of your points, and I'm going to kind of extrapolate off of what Eddie said a little bit, because that's exactly what it is, Eddie. Like, I know you don't care about XG as much, but if you look at last year, our expected goals was so much lower and we were outproducing them. This year, our expected goals are higher and we're equaling them. So it's one of those things where it's like, now it's not only are we just creating better chances, we're still converting those chances. We're not creating that many chances. We're just doing that much better than the chances. So for me, it's projection versus production. We're projected to do so much better, and now we are producing that rather than overproducing our projections and whatnot. So, for me, man, I just wish we could have figured it out the first 17 games of the season.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying, bro.
This is like the upside down. I've been watching Stranger Things with my kids. This is like the upside down, I was like, what the?
Hey, Stranger Things Day is 11/6. I think we're going to find out about the final season. Yeah. That definitely some upside down stuff around then.
Right. Yeah. Sheesh. Another thing too is we are deeper attacking wise, right? Yeah. Like I feel like Nico coming off the bench. That's a good player to come off the bench. Well, right. Muriel coming off the bench. And then Duncan McGuire, $1 million Duncan, $1 million man McGuire. We got Duncan coming off the bench, and then he still has that ability to score on anything. He still is finishing. I mean, last year was absurd, but I still trust him to finish. All kinds of stuff, and him and Muriel together, oftentimes pretty good. Duncan, you're seeing Duncan. I've talked about all season how. His game's just gotten better. He's just become smarter, a little more or more complete player. Sometimes you see him pulling out wide, right, running down the channels, and you see Muriel coming in, and they're kind of interchanging in spaces, and different channels are running through, and that is it's a mix up. It's a change up, right? When we have Enrique, he's darting behind a lot. He drops, runs in behind. He wears the defenders out, and then here comes Big Duncan. He makes his runs, and here comes Muriel, and then they kind of fill in spaces, and then they create a different kind of challenge. So not only do we have depth, we have different ways of scoring. And Duncan pulled his head up a couple times, maybe a couple better touches. Muriel was in free twice. All you do is square it. Muriel was in free 2 more times. At the end of that game, he could have easily scored a couple to Muriel, and he would have been nobody would have dared. He would have put him away. Or put one of them. Well, let's be honest, 1 or 2 away, But this is I don't feel like last year we had like if Duncan is a scorer, what do we do? Maybe Facu or whatever. And if Facu's I think Facu's better this year than last year. And I think and Ojeda is an X factor. I love Mauricio, one of my favorite players in Orlando City history. But in regards to being an offensive threat, that's not what his game was. Right, Ojeda can. Ojeda is a guy who can really muck things up by the guy hits the crap out of the ball. Rebound off of one of his shots. Pulling defenders away by going wide and going to the touchline. Those crosses he does, being able to cross, do all kinds of crosses, and his dead ball delivery. right? All these kind of things that he's creating, and then Enrique's emergence. Not that Enrique this year's better than Duncan last year; it's just different. But we have both of them now. The point isn't whether Enrique is better than Duncan last year. The point is Enrique is better than Enrique last year. So now we got a really good Enrique, and we still got a really good Duncan, and then we got guys like Nico coming off the bench, and then we still defensively can still bring in Kyle Smith, we Brecalo with Rodrigo kind of improving, and Santos has improved, and then we got offensive a two-way right back now. So I just think there's more upside. And another thing, talking about XG. And this fits with the eye test. What I'm saying is that we left goals on the table yesterday, Saturday, because the keeper made some good saves, or Sunday, whatever. Keeper made some good saves, but also a couple, better passes, better touches, better decisions. And you watch the match, you can see where more goals could have been created from. So it is possible to create even more XG, but even then, just because your XG says 2, a lot of good teams outperform their XG. A lot of great players outperform their XG. Ronaldo, Messi, whatever. Look at a guy like Heung-min Son with Spurs. That guy, XG is always way overperforms. Some people who finish well always overperform their XG. So it is possible with someone with the technical ability of Facu and the finishing of Duncan. We could even if our XG goes up a little bit, we could outperform it. And all it takes in the playoffs is to get hot. You don't stay outperforming your XG, and all this stuff comes back to the mean, right? But if you get a couple of people that are hot and scoring bangers like Facu just did, and you outperform your XG for 3 or 4 games, you're in the title. That's all it takes. And do we have people? Do we have people that I can see doing that, like Duncan? Yeah, Duncan, could get hot. Muriel can make a goal happen. Enrique hasn't really been scoring lately, but he's been close. I don't feel like it's because he hasn't trying or he's sucking. Just hasn't come off. Strikers do that. They score 4 or 5 games in a row, and then they'll score for another 6 or 7. It happens. So he's due as well. So I don't. Yeah, I think I'm fully convinced. Actually, yeah, I think we're more dangerous.
Yeah, I think
convinced myself.
Pretty much hit the nail on the head.
Salesperson.
I know. Look at you selling yourself on the idea of it.
But someone gets sold every transaction. That was me.
That's your bit at the end there is the key to how we could go on a run this playoffs, and that's just the depth. Not every team has a Duncan McGuire, a Luis Muriel, Nico Ladero, David Brecalo, and a Kyle Smith that they could be bringing in off the bench.
That cross a couple weeks ago from Kyle to Enrique, right? You come off the bench and throw that in there. That's good. That's useful.
If those are your 5 players off the bench in a salary capped league like we have, you're a team that's going to find success.
Right.
And we obviously have the Ojeda playing the role we expected him to play. And Ramiro Enrique finding his scoring boots to thank for that. Otherwise, we might be in a different situation. But realistically, everyone's playing a part right now, and it seems like everyone's bought into what their part is to play. And you love to see it. And I'm going to kind of skip ahead rather than talking about the playoff format. I'm going to talk about the salary drop first because nothing really changed. You guys know me and Cleon, we keep our spreadsheets. We're the big dorks when it comes to paying attention to the salaries. Only big note realistically is, guys, we know Duncan McGuire got a new contract. He seems content with his role. He's still scoring goals off the bench right now, and we're content with that. But Cleon, I'm going to go to you. Can you give us a little bit about what Duncan's getting paid now? And are you happy with the number?
I mean, it ain't my wallet. If it was, I'll be happy with the number if I was him. But yeah, he's getting paid. What was he getting paid before? Like 78 grand, right?
Yeah, I think like 85 grand. I think is what it scaled up to.
I was looking at the dude like, damn, do you want to borrow a couple bucks here, kid? Go get something to eat. You know what I mean?
Get yourself a nice Snickers or something.
It's a problem when your leading scorer is having to ask Mikey Halliday to loan me some money till next week, right? That's there's a little bit of imbalance there.
Let me hold 20.
You know what I mean?
20, Mikey.
Yeah. Hey Shaq. Hey Shaq. Hey Mikey. Can you borrow me a couple bucks, bro?
Right.
I know he put a brace for us and sent us to the playoffs, but there. Anyway, so he's gone up from like 78K, bro, to a 1.15 basically million.
Wow. Wait, he makes more per month than he did the whole year.
Yeah, that was
That's
bad.
wild.
Good for him, man.
That was bad. Good for him. He's earned it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get into that. People want to say, we had these discussions before, but it was like, oh, should we just keep him? And I was, I've always been decided. I'm not one of those guys. I've said a million times. I'm not one of those guys that's all. I don't get excited when we send our best player away. You know what I mean? I don't get that. I guess that's just the American part of me or what, but that's not something I'm into. Like, I'm not gonna be happy when Facu goes away unless somebody better is coming in. You know what I mean? The money don't do nothing for me. You still got to hit on those investments. I mean, we spending $4 million on Enrique, bro. $4 million a year, and then
You mean Muriel?
he's playing a little better now, but ain't a $4 million worth. You know
You're
what I
talking
mean?
about you mean Muriel right now, Enrique?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what did I say, Enrique?
You did.
Oh, yeah, I meant Muriel. But yeah.
Right.
So I mean, even if you were to sell somebody off a bunch of money, don't mean it's going to hit.
Right.
Whoever you spend the money back on the way back in. You know what I mean? So I'm always of the thought. I'm club over country too. So I'm not of the thought. Oh, it's best for the U.S. men's team if he goes here. I don't care.
Oh, right. Yeah, me neither. Yeah, it's good for
I
the
don't
league.
care.
Whatever. You know what's
I care
good for the
about
league?
City, and that's it. I care about Orlando City, and that's it. So I want our best players here, bro. So we had the discussion a million times last year about, okay, so what's okay to pay? 1.15 mil is what they ended up agreeing on for him to stay long term. For me, I mean, yeah, that's not even DP money, right? I mean, in these days, what's that, TAM?
No, he's getting TAM money for sure, and I'm with you. If we're giving him TAM money and he's still getting 10 plus goals a year, which right now that's what he's got this season, and that's including time away for doing the Olympics and stuff like that. If you can get me 10 plus goals on $1 million a year, I ain't gonna be mad about that whatsoever.
No, not at all.
Even if that means he's playing off the bench because U22 is also putting up 10 plus goals. Congratulations, our striker position's producing 25 goals throughout the year.
Right.
I ain't mad.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
we went from Jack Lynn potentially starting to $5 million on the bench, and we like, how they like in football, they talk about the wide receiver room. Our striker room, got 25 goals in it now. We were like,
bro, can you imagine the stress we would be under if we were not playing well and we had $5 million sitting on the bench?
Right.
Oh,
people forgot. You're true. People just forgot it's there.
Bro, no, we just let it ride because we're winning. You know what I mean?
5 mil to chill.
But can you imagine, bro?
Yeah, it would have been 5 mil to chill for real. It would have been all kinds of stuff. Oh man, the fact is with Duncan is a guy who could start, right? So yeah, he's on the bench right now. We're paying that much for a backup, but it works on a couple of different levels. He can be a fantastic starter, lead us to second in the Shield, and be essentially our best player last year for a lot of the season. And then second, leverage too. If he doesn't want to go right away, do a little Jordan Morris career. He misses dog, and he'll want to stay here. Or he gets, little significant other, and he wants to stick around here. Then he's got a million reasons to stick around, right? And also too the leverage with the contract too. The same with Facu. Facu got a big fat raise, and that's going to provide. We have some leverage saying, hey, we're paying this guy. We don't need to let him go. It's not he's not making a big stink because he's making 70 G's. So yeah, I think it works on multiple levels. So I'm happy for him. He deserves it. He was criminally underpaid before. And I'm not one of those, bootlickers who are like, well, you signed a contract, blah, 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 whatever, man. It's sports.
No, it's ridiculous.
If you signed a 4-year contract, you're a rookie. Well, you had no choice. And you outperform it and pay me. You know what I mean? So
I'll word it for anybody that even questions it. I'll word it like this. Do you think Facu Torres is worth DP money in 2024?
Yeah.
How about 2023?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Yeah. Well, Facu's been our best player the last 2 years. Well, I think we'd all agree, right?
Yeah, club history at this point.
All right. So, I mean, Facu since Duncan got here last year, right?
Mhm.
Faku's had 23 goals, 10 assists. Duncan's had 26 goals, 5 assists. He's right next to him. It's the same
And
guy,
minutes are way less.
bro. In much less minutes. But that's
Much.
not. It's not even a Duncan versus Faku. That's not my point here. You got
Right.
two. One of my point is he's a DP. He as far as production goes, he's a DP player.
Right.
He's a DP. Even this season, he's a DP player.
Yeah.
And people like even then. I mean, he's our leading scorer outside of Faku.
Yeah.
This season,
Wild.
and he's been out for half the time.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's got 10, 11 goals without even playing. So I mean, and as far as Enrique and as good as well as Enrique's played, I mean, he's got 8.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, we feel like Enrique is like unquestionable starter now. He still got less goals.
No. So I mean, we're riding Enrique's hot right now, and we're playing well. So you leave it. You know, Duncan's still. If you can still throw Duncan on at the second half of a game and he's still going to score, then you ride with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Duncan's proven that he could score off the bench always. That's how he got to broke through.
He scored off the bench. You start him. He scores there too. It's whatever. So I mean, it's like I'm saying. Since Duncan's been here, he's been our barely second leading producers of goals and assists. Next to Faku. Faku's at 33. Since Duncan's been here, Faku's at 33, and Duncan's at 31 as the number 2. Faku led. Martin Ojeda, as much as we thought he didn't play, and he's in the same boat as Duncan. So where the guy, when he plays, he produces. He's Martin Ojeda's third at 30.
Wow.
So I mean, he's a DP player.
Man. One of these days we'll hit on 3. I'm just gonna pretend he is, so that we could say that we actually hit on 3 DPs at once.
It's just labels.
Right. Right. So we could say we hit on 3 DPs. You know what I mean? Like in my mind, Muriel's on a vet minimum kind of thing, you know, and Duncan's a DP. In my mind, it's not my money. Either, you know?
Hey, I mean, at least down the stretch, we started to see a lot more assists out of Muriel, and that connection that he built with Duncan is at least something that we can kind of look positively at. And who knows, we still hopefully have more games ahead of us where we could see it pay dividends. So
but put the last 5 or 10 minutes on. I'm telling you, Muriel was there for 2 goals at the very end, right in front of
I'll go back and rewatch it. I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it.
So someone played like Duncan behind and he got it. He got a little bit heavy, touch wide, and I'm like, bro, pick your head, square. And he like another guy came and took it, and then another one, I think he was just waiting, and then he did it too early. But Muriel was just ready. Literally, no one was within a few yards, and it was just him at the penalty box twice, or just running down the pipe there. So my point is that one little action different. That's cool. And we've seen Duncan could drop some dimes and make some good passes too. So we're gonna get a goal like that. We're gonna get a Duncan Muriel goal. Watch that on the counter.
Cool. All right. Well, if you guys are curious, any more information on the salary drop, MLSPA.com, you can go ahead and find the salaries of literally every player in the league. If you are curious to see what they're on the books for making, that information's there. Guys, we're already almost 40 minutes in, so I'm going to try and keep this kind of brief. But thoughts on the format of the best of 3 opening series? I'm going to start. I'm not huge on it. My main thing is, first off, the best of 3 just feels weird because of what I'm used to within soccer. But at the same time, the fact that it's just abandoned after this and it's just then a best of 1 after that, I don't understand the purpose of it aside from just giving more games where there doesn't need to be more games. But that's my piece. If you guys have better opinions on this, you can feel free to go ahead. I'm not a fan of the best of 3. I think it's silly.
Yeah. Well, I'll go first. The best of 3, I think the point is so they'll have less upsets in the first round, right? And have the better team make it through, which usually in the best of 3, that's what happens, right? So you end up having better matches down the road. I think that's part of it. I don't mind it. It is American. It's not like like the penalty kicks MLS used to do or whatever. But it is kind of American, but it is a fair way to decide who's the better team, right? It's like the table, like eventually it's like a slog of sorts where the better team is going to come out on top. I never really understood away goals or got it a lot. I used to watch the away goals and a team that was scored away and they would just park the bus and it was just really ugly to watch. Sometimes it created some funness because they were behind, but I just don't understand how a goal counts as for two in a different place in a different building. I don't know. It's just weird to me. And I don't like the idea that you win a game and then you lose a game and then you're still the winner. I don't know. So overall, it is a weird quirk. I think you're right in pointing out that it's weird that they abandon it, but at the same time, it felt like a compromise. They're like, we'll do 3 out of 2 in the first round. Like, we don't want to keep doing it, but all right, we'll do a single elimination after that. So, and then now that the better teams generally make it through, and then single elimination, it's a good mix. You make sure you got the better team coming through, and then you have potential for some upsets, but you have some more excitement with the single elimination. So, I'm fine with it. Aaron Long was complaining about it the other day, but.
It's also kind of funny that if you look at it, that one team wins a game 5-0, and then the other team has a 0-0 draw that they win on penalty kicks, and they count the exact same. Like
true. Yeah, it is like a regular season. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, but that's not gonna win you the series though.
You still need one more.
The
rubber match. The rubber match. That's what I call it. That's what makes it like equitable to me. Okay, you got a 0-0 with pens, and you got smokes 5-0. But in the third one, it's 0. Now the third one is essentially a single elimination. If you're tied 1-1, the third game is a knockout.
Yeah. Yeah, and you. I don't mind it at all. I'm for it. Like, I'm not even just like it's whatever. For me, I'm for it. It's not something you could do all the way through the playoffs because it's just soccer's not one of those
too
sports
difficult. Soccer, yeah.
Soccer's one of those sports where it's like NFL football, so where you can't not that physical or nothing like that. But I mean, as far as exhaustion, to where you can't be playing, 2 and 3 games a week. So I mean, I know you do once here and there, but consistently, no, that's not going to work. So, I mean, I think it's fine, like first round. And on top of that, if you're not going to do soccer with the we're only going to play the regular season, whoever has the most points, that you're it, season over. If you're not going to do that, then to me, if you're going to do playoffs, you need to do playoffs right. And I don't know where else you're going to look but to America if you want to learn how to do playoffs correctly.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Who else does playoffs? I mean, the English pretend they don't, but they do it in the championship. But they pretend they don't have playoffs.
No, it's silly. But on top of that, it's just as far as even for fans, bro. It's like it's better for fans. If you earn the playoffs, let's say you're some sorry team and you finally gonna make the playoffs. It's a big deal, and then you never even get a home game.
True. Single
you know
entity.
I mean?
Single entity things right there. Yeah. Everybody gets a home game.
Yeah, like the year the Raptors won the championship, bro. They came to Orlando and got whooped in the first game. That would have been season over for them. Done. You know what I mean? If you're playing into Miami, there's very well they can go and beat you down 5-0 in the first game. You know what I mean? I think. To me, it's fair. I like it. It's fine with me. I think you should have if you're going to do playoffs, I feel like if you make playoffs, the playoffs are supposed to be an event. And if it's going to be an event and you're trying to build a sport here and you're trying to build excitement here, what's the point of saying, oh, yeah, Orlando City, they finally made the playoffs, but you're not getting a home game? You know what I mean? So that's my arguments for it. Like I said, you can't do it through the first round. I understand doing it the first round and then just jump into a single after that. That's fine with me. But I think in the beginning, I think everybody should get one chance to host the home game because the playoffs are supposed to mean something.
Yeah, fair. Guys, I'll on Spotify, I'll put something in there saying to let us know your thoughts. Do you like or dislike the format and explain why? Comments on YouTube, same thing. Let us know if you like the format or not. Kind of curious. I'll make sure that I actually go through and reply to the comments on YouTube because I am bad about doing that. Okay, we'll move along then. Stock up, stock down. Eddie, I'm going to go to you first. Give me your stock up, stock downs.
Stock up. I give him a hard time sometimes, but I thought he was just really solid and wasn't wasteful. And then the work rate's always there. So stock up on Ivan Angulo. I thought he had a good one. Very crucial. I mean, his work rate's always there, but I thought he was more tidy than usual. If he could do that, that's really helpful for us. So stock up on Angulo, stock down. I don't think anyone really had a stinker for stock down. I would Duncan. I think could have squared it to Maria, but that's a bit harsh to say he's stock down because of that. So stock down to nobody. But I'm just
That's fair.
Ivan Angulo's. I'm the one I'm going to single out, and Rodrigo too. It's solid game.
Yeah, I'm scared to give one to Rodrigo because I don't want to jinx it.
Yes, bro.
Right. I know. Yeah. I with Angulo, I'm just kind of like, there's times where you gotta give praise when it's due. Sometimes you point stuff out. He could be frustrating to me, but I thought, I don't know if we win without him. I thought he was just crucial. A couple great interceptions, a couple tracking back, and that run for the Ojeda goal, bro. That guy. That much running and tracking back and all that stuff and runs he was making to make that last run too. And smart on him to make it, man. But this guy's got a crazy tank.
Cleon?
My stock up. I'm gonna go Hayda again. Just not because he scored, because he's continuing to prove his worth, which is important as far as him and the coaching goes and getting the trust. He's continued to prove that he is needed, and he's too valuable to sit down. When it comes to our attack and pushing things together and creating things, he's been very consistent with as far as that goes and production wise. So I'll go stock up with him. Stock down. For this game, honestly, I didn't see one. So I'll go all the way back to Felipe for Atlanta.
Dang.
Oh, just because you weren't on for this episode.
That was the last thing I saw where somebody came on and they pissed me off. So
right.
My stock, I've been holding that one. So I'll give it to Felipe. I don't care if he didn't play.
Hey, Cleon's a guy. Cleon comes off the bench and just 2-foot someone for a foul from like 6 months before. He just came in there and took him out.
I hate to do it because that's my boy. But I'll have to transfer that Felipe stock down to Rico and Muzi for not having suitable backups behind Wilder and Cesar. Because at the end of the day, it ain't Felipe's fault that he sucked. You know what I mean? They knew what they was doing. That's why they signed dude. They signed dude off of nothing. He just happened to be here. They're like, oh, you already here? Come on, we got it.
Right.
You know
and Felipe and Felipe doesn't really play this position they're asking him. When he was really at heyday, he was more like a 8-10, 8.5, 9-10.
And it's crazy because like now I can't even see that, bro.
Right.
He just doesn't have the legs for it anymore.
No, they're asking him. They leave him out way too much space. I ain't mad at him. I said at the beginning of the year we need another midfielder because
at the end of the day, it's like I get mad at him, but it ain't even his fault, bro. Like the coach
not at all.
The coach tell him go in. What are you supposed to do? Say no?
He exactly. He ain't getting paid squat either. He's out there on the Dunkin' money. No, he's getting paid way less than I thought.
Where's Heine, man? Where's Heine?
Heine, bro.
Is he even a 6? That's what I mean, though.
He's more of I look at him as being more of an 8, but
that's what I don't get. Why we got these 8-10s behind Wilder and Cesar, bro?
I mean, he still hasn't made his debut yet, has he?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I haven't even seen him. I mean, you know what? They're probably, they're probably saying with his complexion, they're like, you're not playing, buddy. This sun is too strong for you. Just stay inside. Like you're not getting any minutes.
The colder games, we'll put you on the bench.
Yeah, that colder games will put you out there because guy is looking bright out there, looking like a Ermin. Look him up. You look at Ermin, you'll be like, hey, he's got a point.
God dang, Eddie. All right. Well, for my stock up, I'm just gonna echo Eddie. I'm gonna give it to Angulo. I'm hard on Angulo all the time, but I think he had his best performance in purple on what was it, Sunday? So I definitely liked what I saw from him. And then as far as stock down goes, I'm just going to be nitpicky and I'm going to give mine to Wilder, just because don't pick up a dumb yellow card, man. Like the last thing we want to do is see any kind of yellow card accumulation. I think it's 3 yellow cards accumulated is what gets you a suspension. But don't put ourselves in that kind of situation, man. You know, can avoid that.
God.
So
right. If we're up
in the butt, but
if we're up at like 2-0 or 1-0 at the next maybe 2-0, not 1-0.
2-0.
Pull them out. Yeah,
2-0.
Yeah. 2-0.
And literally just
you know what I do?
Right.
No. I would put 2-0. I put Kyle Smith in his spot.
You know what? I've been liking that better, bro. I've been like, hey, when they put Kyle Smith there,
Kyle did good there.
He was solid. I was like, what the heck you doing? But I mean, I guess he did the best out of what he got.
Bro, Kyle is he rarely has a stinker. He rarely has a stinker. That's the point of Kyle Smith, and so I trust in Kyle in this capacity.
When in doubt, throw Kyle in there.
Yeah, so time to bring him in. So
this may sound insulting, and I promise that it's not. This may sound insulting, and I promise that it's not. But that's the thing about Kyle is Kyle good? No, but is Kyle good enough? Yes.
Yes. Are you special? No, but are you special the way you are? Yes.
And
you
again,
are you.
I don't want that.
He's like Stuart. He's like, what's that Stuart from Saturday Night Live? Remember that? What was that Al Franken character? He turned in the mirror. I'm good enough. I love myself. Gosh darn it. Like
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I used to see Kyle saying that, and it's a Corolla just changing the mirror, like fixing the rearview mirror in his Corolla, just saying, "Gosh darn it, I'm good enough and reliable." Just like
no, he's in his Audi changing the headlights like the one annoying lady in the commercials.
Oh, okay. Last time I checked, he does. He got an Audi. He's making almost 200.
I mean, I figure everybody in the league's got an Audi with the way that
bro. Kyle was driving that.
Bro, he was driving a Corolla,
Toyota, or whatever it was.
He was driving a Corolla or a Camry, maybe
a Corolla or something like that, bro.
Yeah,
or a Camry, or it was something beat up. Bro.
Some of them have it. So, yeah. But Pedro's got a Mustang
for a while.
They got deals. They get deals. They get they could lease the sedan or the SUV for pretty cheap. I saw. I saw walking around I was just walking around the stadium before the game. Nocherino. Macho. Really? That guy. What a handsome fella. Sheesh.
Is he still coaching Miami and USL?
Oh, I couldn't put enough thoughts together. I don't know. I didn't ask him. I said, "Good luck coaching." He goes, "Ciao, thank you." He said, "Ciao, thank you."
I could be wrong. I probably am.
I don't know.
Very, very handsome.
He's tall. I remember, or maybe I forget how short I am once I go out to the real world. I forget. Oh dang, I'm really short. Well, yeah. So look, Wilder, 3 of them. I just don't want to see him get a second one, and then the Charlotte one, just because he's Wilder, and then we're playing Miami. And then
because he's getting them there.
Right, yeah,
right. At least win a game in Miami, bro.
Just write it in permanent marker. Just write it. Yeah.
So we need Wilder not to get no more cards for the rest of this Charlotte series, bro. Because
I wouldn't
for sure he's catching one in game 1 of Miami early too, and he's going to catch a second one in the second game in Miami early.
There's only one game against Miami. So
they're a single elimination, but
you're right.
You're right.
Yeah,
this is why it's confusing.
No, but just imagine. Okay, we know he's gonna get one against Miami. And then imagine we get to the next round, and he's gone, right? So he can't have a second because he's gonna get one in Miami. And that means
we got to get past Miami.
Yeah, no, exactly. Miami, if he doesn't have to, he needs to get one. Like if he's gonna Denzel Washington that. I'm coming out of here with something. You know what I mean? I'm leaving with something, and we're either gonna win it or get a yellow, or we're gonna lose and he's gonna go yellow. But he's getting something.
It's either gonna be a yellow card or somebody's shin guard stuck in his boots.
Right. Yeah. I would love it and shove his foot up Sergio Busquets biscuits.
Okay. Come on.
Usually got to pay extra for that. So.
Right, there you go.
Okay. Well, now that we're clearly talking ahead here, guys, predictions for Friday against Charlotte. What do we think is going to happen?
Okay. Cleon, you go or me?
I'll go. I say 3-2. Orlando.
3-2. Wow, what an
I
exciting
think it's gonna
game.
be a shootout, bro. They gunning for their life, man.
Yeah.
They're
Wow.
gunning for their life. I
Right.
think we're gonna get up, and then they're gonna get wide open. So we're definitely gonna catch that third on the counter. It'll be that third one to be late, but I
Duncan.
think it'll be either 3-1 or 3-2 us.
Gotcha.
Because they definitely they got to go all out. It's one that's do or die for them, man.
I like it. You know what? I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna double down just for fun, just because. I'm gonna say 4-2. Because you know what? We're gonna go down a goal, right? Then Facu's gonna save it, gonna calm things down. We're gonna get it. You know who hasn't scored in a while? That I think is gonna score one. Enrique. Boom, that's it. And then you know who else hasn't scored in a while and scores bangers in the playoffs or has once? Wilder Cartagena.
Wilder?
Yep. And then guess what? He's gonna take his shirt off and he's gonna get a yellow for it. Damn, Wilder. Gotta be
bro, why you put that in there?
And then Yancey's gotta turn around and complain and get a yellow too, you know? Because well, why is he getting a yellow when he took his shirt off? You know, it's the big deal, mother. You know, yes. so double yellows. So and then you know who's been close to scoring? Rodrigo, man. He's getting his head on stuff. And
I was just about to say Rodrigo.
I'm telling you, Rodrigo is good for a
goal in the playoffs.
Right. So Rodrigo deserves it. Rodrigo deserves it. And bro, how about the one there was a nice play we like far post and we just Facu just couldn't get on the end of it to square it back. The answer was already right there. I'm just saying a defender goal is going to happen. And then what I said earlier, I mean, maybe a Duncan goal off the bench because he scored a little bit, or the Duncan to Muriel that I'm telling you it's going to happen.
Duncan's definitely catching one.
Yeah.
Late game.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
unless
Duncan
winning. If they losing, Duncan's catching one.
Well, yeah, sure. And at the end, you know, Dean Smith is just gonna put the Brexit. They're gonna Brexit away and say, guys, you have my permission to go past the halfway line, attack. You know what I mean, and go. But it's gonna be like, you know, the Battle of Concord. They're gonna score early. They're gonna score too early and lose. You know, so little Dean Smith history there.
I'm gonna go ahead and go 3-1 Orlando. My thought process.
Go with that at first.
My thought process here is I think we're going to score 2.
But I'm leaning a 3-1.
I was going to do that, but Cleon baited me with the 2.
Yeah, I think we're going to score 2 relatively early. They're going to go ahead and get one back and think that there's hope, and then we're going to beat them on the counter. I got goals coming from Facu, Duncan McGuire off the bench, and Ivan Angulo. He's going to beat them with pace on the counter.
Nice. I think I can dig it.
It's just I think that it's basically what Cleon said. They're going to have to go for broke. We're going to score relatively early. They're going to try and pin us back, and they're just going to be susceptible to counters because they got guys like old man Tim Ream back there who he's a great defender, but his legs just cannot keep up with these guys, especially playing on turf. I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. So
right.
Yeah, Angulo's going to be extra.
As I said,
City
and 2. Yeah. City and 2.
Yeah, I said it. I'm not worried about Charlotte for that year. Queen City, whatever. Get out of here. Where did the Queen City? Because was that why Dean Smith's there? They're affiliated with the British, right? In the Revolutionary War. Is that why they're the Queen City or something like that?
Cincinnati also says they're the Queen City, so I that's something for them to fight about.
Starting with the C's, whatever. I don't. You know what I mean? At least don't got bad chili.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. All right, shout outs. Cleon, who you got?
I want to shout out Puerto Rico. Love y'all.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's it. Thank you, Cleon. Yes. I respect that. I want double that. Shout out to Cholo Dogs. Got a glizzy sans bread. You know, it's pretty good. I liked it. So yeah, gave him a shot. First one, want to know if the toppings are right, but this one was better. And so shout out to Cholo Dogs with that. So I can't think of anything else.
I'm minus getting sick. I'm just gonna go ahead and give a quick shout out to Vegas. I did have a good time at When We Were Young festival. Well, that's what caused me to miss the final game of the season against Atlanta. Enjoyed myself, had a good time. Did get sick and ended up in the hospital. Now I know to be careful about certain things, but still had a blast.
We're talking about Vegas.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
it was stomach sick. So
Yeah, getting that sickness reminds you aren't young, right? 'Cause before,
exactly.
you're
Yeah.
young. You've just been like Baja Mountain Dew and Taco Bell, and now it's like, you're like, oh, is that not organic? I'm sorry, I have to go to the hospital now. Is that a free range? How many acres did that chicken have? Before
to be fair, we did go to this one super high end vegan restaurant while we were there. It was it's one of the most expensive dinners I think we've ever had. But I'll be damned, man, food was so good.
I can't comprehend high end and vegan mentally,
bro. I was lost. Yeah, those two things were not.
What was the mushroom was picked by a unicorn or something?
Things don't go together.
It was foraged by a Pegasus. The mushroom you ate or something.
It's like cooking with obviously rarer, harder to find foods. So rare, it was lion's mane mushroom steaks and stuff like that.
Okay, so I was close.
We're really good.
Yeah, I was close. It was a mushroom foraged by a unicorn.
And frankly, they did get the flavor right on the steak. It did taste like a steak. It's just if you're like me and have texture issues, you could tell that clearly the texture is very obviously not a steak. But flavor profile, damn good. So I'll give them that.
That wasn't you because you have texture issues, just because you're honest with yourself.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit of both because I've always had issues with certain vegetables and stuff too. Certain vegetables textures weird me out. Broccoli, I can't eat broccoli. It just it feels gross. But,
shout out to broccoli.
Chopping broccoli.
Yeah. Shout out 1997.
Yeah, there we go. I had something else that I was gonna say, but I completely lost my train of thought. The only other thing I'm gonna do is if we do win this, the next time we're gonna be talking about a game is gonna be, I think, 22 days from Friday. There's a long layoff due to an international break, which means the next time we'd be having conversations about a game is I'm not going to be in Florida anymore. So
wow, sheesh,
crazy to think about.
We gotta hang out before you go, Mike, or something, right?
I'm trying to make time. I'm trying to figure everything out because I got to pack. As you can see, I still got stuff on the walls, so I got to figure all that crap out.
Cleon's free. He's not working. He can help you pack.
Here we go.
Here we go.
With that,
he got that sciatica though, but he could help a little bit.
He already paid his debts. He's good. So
yeah.
I did have somebody reach out to me. He'd be like, "Wasn't there a bet about something like this?" So I was like, "Here's the episode. Cleon made me on it."
No, what if I didn't pay the bet? Y'all some snitches.
I didn't even ask you to pay anything. It was my bet that I would have given it to you. I didn't ask you to give me anything back. I was gonna ready to send it back to you. So, although I did just gamble it in Vegas and didn't win anything with it. So.
That's funny. Yeah. Hey. Speaking of betting, take the over on Aaron Judge strikeouts on Hard Rock. Little hint. I took the over. I took the over on 2.5. I took it over on 2.5 on the first 3 games, or paying off.
He just keeps swinging, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
nice.
All right, guys. Well, right. that's an episode right there. So Vamos Orlando, guys, will be Den After Dark will be live right after the final whistle, as it always is on these away games. So be on the lookout for that. And let's get this dub. Enjoy a nice break before we're probably playing Fort Lauderdale. Vamos Orlando, everybody.
Can't rely on Atlanta to do anything good.
City in 2.
City in 2.
All right.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Orlando Lions Den podcast. Don't forget to follow us at Orlando Lions Den on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. See you next week in the Den.